All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:30. It is October 2nd. Hope everyone's feeling well and had a great weekend. It is a new month. It is a new quarter. Lots to do, lots to think about. As we just historically just got the worst 2 months of the year behind us. Unless you're a really good short, that might have been really good months for you. But either which way, they're always tricky and volatile. So now we're going to figure out what does the fourth quarter hold for us. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of TQLive.com. Hopefully everyone's feeling well. Still trying to figure out, how to do the 6:30 club where I can interact with my dogs around the world. I used to love to say good morning by name to everybody. That's what I do. I am a people person, so sometimes with this new way, I feel like I'm talking to myself, but it is what it is. Come on, Elon. Get. I still can't call Twitter X. What the hell is X? The X factor. Anyway, so one of my friends turned 50 this weekend, so we had a big party Saturday night, and I guess everyone knows I'm like a stock market guy. So everyone's like, Red Dog, did you hear that? The no more government shutdown. They thought it was going to happen. Market should be up huge on Monday. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, I feel like the market doesn't want these band-aids anymore. They don't want just kick the can to November, 45 days from now. We feel like that's what we keep doing, and the deficit just keeps going higher and higher. I'm like, you know what? I wonder what it's going to mean for rates, because now if all of a sudden, they're not being fiscally responsible, what does that usually add to it? It adds to inflation because they're just printing money and they're just giving it away. So, I woke up this morning, the S&P futures are up 25. I went to my sauna to get my sweat out and get my mind right and think about, because I'm coming in pretty flat. I'm not coming in short actively or long. So I'm thinking, how am I going to do it? What levels can I short against? Are we going to hold up? And then by the time I get out of my ice barrel, futures are negative, which makes for a more interesting setup. I think the way we opened up on Friday and faded, and worked off that oversold condition, I think people would rather see a real more tradable low wherever that is versus, this choppy back and forth where all of a sudden you start feeling good, you're in a trend, and then you have to worry about, problems that weren't dealt with. So anyway, so here we are. SPYs right now are flat. The TLTs, which I looked at this morning, were down 65 cents. Now they're down 85 cents. That means rates are going up, and a lot of people are like, hey, Red Dog, you didn't buy your wife's second tier of blood in the street. I'm like, because we didn't have a close in that area, and I'm looking for 4,200 or below. Where we were at 42.75. I'm like, that's I bought 43.35. So anyway, this is probably a better setup coming into the new, the new month and quarter. I'd like to even see more volatility to the downside, but we'll see. This is the chart of the S&P cash. So what did we do? If you just take a look at it, we had this head and shoulders top pattern, right? The left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, gap and go below the neckline, okay, to a low of 42.38. So what did we do? The oscillator hit I'd say minus about 55. Into this down move, you remember, this is where I bought the first tier of the blood in the BOS account. We were minus 77. So we weren't even that extreme. We did have a little bit of acceleration, a little bit of fear on that, Wednesday-ish, and that created a nice little tradable move, but that's all it was. So what did we do? We came back right into, remember, I did a 9 o'clock, 6:30 club on Friday, and I'm like, this will be a likely spot. That if you were playing a bounce, you should probably sell. Here's the 8-day, which is now resistance. If they wanted to push a little bit more, they could have. But at this point now, we'll see how it goes. On the weekly chart, it was very cute where we kind of held, right? Let's go to the SPYs so you can see the SPYs, because that's what people, trade a bit here. We went right to this trend line, and what did it do? It went to 422. Didn't quite get to this 418. The 418 is actually down here. So this is 422.29. This was where we kind of broke down from, where we retested a bit. So we'll see if I still would like to see this area. Some would like to see 398 to 407, but I find that's going to be hard. But we'll see. We'll see. At this point, you do have, like, again, August, September, historically the worst months. So now we enter October, usually October 8th, October 15th. You get some kind of real tradable low, and then hopefully you get some kind of trend, to be able to feel comfortable maneuvering in a portfolio approach where you could have 8, 12, 15 longs, massage them and make money versus, tactically look for spots and be short here and there and being a lot of cash. And, but we have the market that's in front of us. A lot of people like, hey, Red Dog, how'd you do in September? I'm down a little bit of money. I had a great second quarter, a small first quarter. This quarter, I was really, actually was up a lot of money going into, I go quarter by quarter, not month by month, just because I can, right? I'm the chief strategic officer of T3 Live founding partner, so I'm not saying it's just a trader, but a lot of traders out there, and that's you, that goes month by month. I understand, because that's what I did the first 10 years of my career. It's hard because you want to start out the month the right way, and then if you're up a bunch of money with 4 days, 5 days left, you're not like looking at the trade, you're like more looking at the P&L, how you can get your, paid. For me, I'd rather, go quarter by quarter, so I'm, sequence by sequence, where I'm not looking at the calendar as much. So hopefully one day, if that's what you want to do or evolve to, it'll happen, but it has to happen over time. Again, I've been doing this since like 1998-ish, 25 years. I treat my 7 accounts like a portfolio manager. I am not. I don't manage billions of dollars. People are always out in Short Hills. They manage billions of dollars. I do have a lot of assets to put to work if the market's letting, but at this point, it's not. I don't feel like it's ready for it yet. I'd like it to be. Here are the Qs. Qs also were a little stronger, right? The Qs went into this gap, gave you 362.95. So now it's got to hold this 357. The Qs right now, okay, so if you want to look at what's happening this morning, just for flows, the Qs, I mean, TLT's down, which is adding some pressure. The SPYs at this point, are down 6 cents. They're trying to hold the Qs up a little bit. So right now, the Qs, which just made a new summer low when the market decided to reverse, is still stronger than the SPYs. And the TLTs, and the market really cares when you make new thresholds. So if you go to 87, 88 in the TLT, I would think the market would not like if all of a sudden, the TLTs get below 87.10. First thing it's got to do is get below 88.09. So if you look here, the TLTs are right now below, I guess below Friday's low. So if it stays below, then you have that. As far as like the XLE, which is energy group, yes, it's definitely a bit stronger. There was a little bit of a rebalance on Friday. Pretty nasty candle, but again, it's still, hanging in better. So if you're thinking the fourth quarter, the XLE is going to be awesome, well, it's got to hold 89-ish for that to happen. Kind of looks like a little wedge formation coming in here, where the bears took control on Friday, but like overall, the bulls are winning the intermediate battle. So you could say, hey, is this an upper wedge in in energy? And if this were to break to the downside, maybe that would even help tech for the fourth quarter, but we'll see. Lots of things happened on Friday that were, Apple, remember, Apple broke 173. It hit a 168-ish. You could have made money both ways. We'll see what happens with Apple now. Apple, it's been a kind of a messy mess where, after the earnings, all the valuation guys were like, there's no reason. Oh, I like the song. Anyway, you gotta listen to music in the morning when you do your charts. Don't listen to the TV set. Okay, I'm not going to say why, but anyway. So what happened here? We broke below 173.50. Okay, and then what happened is you had a little red dog reversal when it took back 169.05, and now it's kind of in no man's land where you had to sell some strength. What's Apple doing this morning? Let's take a look at Apple right now. Apple is up a whole 25 cents. So if Apple stays in this little range, you're not going to get too volatile today. But if it were to break below Friday's low, chances are some selling happens in tech. I actually made a little bit of money fading. Red Dog fading, yeah. And on Friday, I faded a bunch of things, but I didn't stay short. So Apple will be interesting. Does it hold in here? Does it break below this or break above that? That'll give some clues to flows for the SPYs and the Qs. Tesla's kind of nowhere. I think they're coming out with their deliveries today, so be a little careful. Tesla's up a whole 87 cents. Hit right into the resistance we were talking about. That was the low. It was a decent fade. I think some guys in my community made some decent money fading this. Also made some money fading Nvidia. You know, Nvidia, you had two different trades in Nvidia, so I'd watch this for this week too, where some guys were buying it when it cleared this 428-ish, and then into prior support that turns into resistance. It was a better sell than buy, and this is just the kind of trading we have. It's just range trading. You know, sometimes you could stay for a day and a quarter, day and a half, but you try and stay for more than that, and it's been difficult. So for today, right now it looks like Nvidia is up. It must have been upgraded or something. It's up like 6 into 441. So Nvidia is up 6. Okay, the Qs are up. So so Nvidia is showing a lot of relative strength this morning. So what's AMD doing? Somebody's saying that makes good sense. So look, it's up only 37 cents. So see what happens if Nvidia could hold, or all of a sudden it gets faded into that. AMD is interesting. It still has this downtrend in control. At some point, it'll be, if this can get above this downtrend, would probably tell us a little bit more that semiconductors, and that probably means SMCI is doing well, and whatever, maybe turn the corner, or just means that AMD turned the corner. But at this point, what's this low here? That's 102.50. So we'll see if AMD, I made good money with AMD last week. If AMD could hold 102.50, which is Friday's low, maybe there's a chance you get a little inside action, and then if it were to break above this, it'll be hard for the bears to growl too loud. If it holds here and gets turned lower, then it's the same thing that we've been seeing all the way since June. But these are why we have to look. And then I will say Meta's hard. Meta's been giving you trades here and there, but it's been dancing around the same spot for so long that if you think you can get an extended move to the downside or the upside, you definitely got hurt or you gave back money. Like, think about, look at this range in Meta. Meta was showing a lot of relative strength. It took a long time to finally break above this 306, and then that happened. Okay, so anybody who was playing for a swing trade got hurt, and then it was sideways, and then in the event, they sold the event for 15 minutes, stopped everybody out, and then all of a sudden came back up, and then it looked like it was ready to go. And then at least on Friday, it gave you a push, and then when it failed to hold 306, most guys had to get out of the way, or some people made money short to come all the way back into this spot. That's just hard trading. I like higher lows, higher highs. I like, trends, not choppy messes. So when there's a choppy mess out there, you don't want to be part of the pieces. You just pick your spots a little carefully. And if you make money, say, okay, I'm not expecting more. And then one of these days we'll be pleasantly surprised. We just really haven't yet. So anyway, if you happen to have had a tough September or a tough, third quarter, what you need to do, hopefully you did it this weekend, is look at your numbers, look at the stocks you traded. Some people, I'm a great Apple trader, and then they go back and look at their quarter and they lost money. Like, oh wait, maybe I'm not such a great Apple trader. Or hey, I like to trade energy. It's been in a strong trend, but then wow, why am I not up in energy? So it's a good way to kind of really be transparent with yourself on why you didn't make money. Yes, the market was tricky and tough, but there were definitely things that could have been done to make money. For me, I definitely have some things I need to work on. Sometimes I get too heavy in the first 2 to 15 minutes of the day, and then it doesn't work in those 2 to 15 minutes, and then it happens 45 minutes later, and I don't have the same size. Or sometimes I'd rather just be out of the way than see some things that I could see on the short side and just put it on versus an area. So even guys like have been doing it a long time, we're always a work in progress. So if you've been doing this for a year or 2 years, why should you be fully getting it? We don't get it after 20 to 25 years. Like I said before, I was at a party Saturday night. You had hedge fund managers there. There were analysts there. There were guys, that have been trading it. And it's just, and everyone right now is in a little bit of a flux. And why also? Because we've been in a 2-year range in the S&P. 2 years of this. Besides, so many names still 90% off their highs or 80% off their highs. So it hasn't been the easiest environment. So anyway, I guess see what happens here with Meta. It's only up $1. If Meta were to break below this, what was this low from Friday? 299.36. Then you have the lower compartment, and you'll see if it stays below. Right now, Meta's up $1.18. So we'll see how that goes. The Qs is still green. SPYs right now it's a 645 or down 4 cents. This makes it a little easier here. With the SPYs, what you should look for is This is 425-ish. So will the SPYs hold 425-ish? At this point, it's at 427. So it's like right in here. So there's no, you can't be so fast. Hold on, where is this? Right. So the SPYs right now are at 427.44. So let's get, this is what's giving the pressure here. That means rates are going. Listen, if you right now, I think the dot plot for 2023 is still at, we're supposed to be 5.4%. Right now, the 10-year, it's not even a 4.75. So if we're going to get to 5% plus in the 10-year, chances are you're going to have to be patient, being in equities actively or in an intermediate basis. Listen, long term is another thing. I put monthly flows into my 401k every month. My son's a freshman in high school. I put a 529. I actually added. I went from $750 a month to $1,000 because the university cost is so huge. But then the blood on the street, I feel like it's not an area to get more than one tier in because this isn't blood on the street. The S&P is still up like 12% for the year. I don't really know what the Nasdaq's even up. All we've done is pull back normally, so we'll see. Anyway, so 425-ish. If the SPYs were to really get pressured today, the bears would growl if we get a move below 425-ish. Other than that, it's just inside noise. But I would say, pretty impressive that the active bears were able to sell the news of Washington, dysfunctional Washington, kicking the can down the road. No one wants that anymore. It's crazy how dysfunctional our political system is right now. And I guess, we get the representatives we deserve because we're the ones who vote or we don't vote. So unless we make a change, I don't know. I don't even want to get into that. What else? Somebody's asking me if Netflix, bottomed. Well, it stops going down as fast as it did from when it broke the 8 and day, but now it's kind of building a lower flag type pattern. It's going to need to hold this 375-ish to take this out in order to get some kind of bounce towards, where it broke down from here, which is like 395. So if we want it to bounce, it's got to get above this and it's got to kind of hold that. I don't like trading Netflix as much anymore. It just feels like it's trade by appointment. It could be strong 1 hour and then, and then it just floats in the wind and it's been lower. I like to trade stocks that could give me signals like relative strength, relative weakness. You can see the buying, you have inflection areas. And for me, Netflix is, not that, except for if you wanted to short it when he had this bull flag that broke to the downside to created, this false move lower. Microsoft, I guess it's still nothing is so great. Like it broke its ascending channel here, and then it's been below the 8 days since. You had a 3-day pivot area. It opened above, so I guess you'll see. Does Microsoft hold above? Now this 315 was resistance, and now it could be support. So in order for Microsoft to hang in there and not be a headwind, it's gonna have to hold 315. But then again, look at all this moving averages above. We're still in like a technically rebuild broken area where you need to do less, pick your spots, and not get overly excited. But if you do that, you can net money, you can add up, and you can keep your sanity. Because keeping your sanity when the market's in this range-bound, monotonous, misdirectional, predatory action is the most important. Because when things do, get into a better scenario, which could be soon, it could be in a few weeks, you want to make sure you're ready to roll. And how do you do that? You have your routine, your process. You do things to make yourself happy. You put yourself in a position to execute with confidence by having your balance. And these are all the things that I've been working on, which I'll try and help you guys with. So once again, to leave you, let's see what we're doing right here. You have the SPYs are flattish. The Qs are up 70 cents, but bunch of bits and pieces. And we'll see how it goes. If you're, again, looking at the SPYs, I have a little bit of a cold. I apologize. This is 425-ish. It's above the 200-day. Got rejected at the 8-day. Failed to hold 430. So it really could do whatever it wants in this spot. And I guess we'll see what happens with the TLT and if the Qs can continue to show relative strength. And I do think Tesla has their deliveries coming soon. And Tesla has been, it's usually a little bit of a barometer of risk. And although we had a fantastic trend, I think I made a lot of money in May, partly because Tesla was so strong, and I love when Tesla leads. But for now, you have a lower high, you have a higher low, it's smack in the middle. So see how it reacts once the deliveries are done. You have a bit of a doji right here where at least Can't get too bearish if it holds 246. Can't get too bullish if it stays below 254. And that's your inside candle. And we'll see how we react to the delivery news, which should be out soon. So, and then I would say also look at Nvidia. Nvidia is up a bunch this morning. See if it holds or not. If they fade Nvidia from up 6 to red and down, you'll know there's just like nothing that people are in such a rush to get. So you still need to be patient. And again, hopefully we do get some kind of dislocation, craziness versus just choppy back and forth. But if you're listening, making money during this choppy back and forth, congratulations. It hasn't been that easy. So we'll see. Nothing in life is easy anyway. One of the videos I listened to says if you take the easy approach, you can have a hard life. If you go through the hard approach, it'll make your life easier. Kind of stood out today. So anyway, new quarter, new you. Be transparent with yourself. Understand what you did wrong so you could fix it. Look at things you did well so you could build on that. And hopefully the fourth quarter will make everyone a lot of money. And money won't make you happy, but making progress, not perfection, puts you in the right state of mind so you could move forward. And that's what it's all about. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I'm going to post some charts. Got a lot of work to do. Going to go hang out with the Alpha team and Rather All Access and mark up about 40 charts, different levels, this, that, this. Very sophisticated. And if you won fantasy football, congratulations. And the Jets are just anyway. Someone asked me about the Jets, not the team or the Swifties, about the sector. At this point, I don't know. It looks like everything else. It's been broken. It's pretty much since the summer top, below the 8-day the entire time. I don't know. I don't think it's that compelling. I guess if you are long, you went long last week, just know that this is the 8-day. I guess if it were to break that trend and the market wanted to bounce, you could probably get a move maybe towards the 21-day, which is right here. And yes, Boeing. A lot of people like Red Dog. You played that so awesome. Well, I kind of get out right here, and I told you guys if it doesn't hold 222, the top of this channel, get out of the way. And now we'll see if this is the low for Boeing. Other which way, it's just been below the 8-day. You don't sit in it, okay, and you don't test it every day either because it could drive you to drink, and you don't want to do that on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But it's been below the 8-day since. It is a little oversold, I guess you could say. So just know that 190 is last week's low. If you are trading it and you're long it, and I'm not people like, well, it's Boeing. You can't say that. People say, oh, it's Disney. You know what Disney is. But anyway, at this point, it has been down a whole hell of a lot. And if it were to break this mini trend line, I guess there's a move up to here, but that's a broken bounce or something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you with this. Good luck today, guys. Set up your week so you can make progress. That'll always keep you a little bit balanced and centered.